April 4th, 2020. Still here on the coast of Brazil, preparing for the great adventure that is forming before us. You know, Hans, this morning when we went down to the ocean, the waves are bigger than I've seen them here in the 2.5 weeks we've been here. And they were violent, and they were just like rising on the horizon. The horizon was shaped differently because of them. And then they're just coming crashing down and off in our distance. That's what the corona and the financial likely collapse, like that's what many of us can see off in the horizon.
There were pieces of debris washed up on the shore because the waves had come much further than before. And there was actually, this matters. There was a woman that came on the beach and she had brought a plastic bag. And as you're preparing for your stand, I saw her come on the beach, takes out the bag, and takes up little pieces of trash, puts them in the bag. And later she asked us, or I brought some trash to her bag, and she said, "Oh, I want to move this big piece." There was this big metal piece, I don't know what it is. It looked like a piece of a plane or something, probably not, but and she wanted to move it. So we helped her move it. And I like that she was alone and she would still do that, you know? And I love how she has that sense of like duty and care for the others and the ocean, and it feeds in right into what we were talking about, which is we, or at least me, I sometimes think of adventure as this grand traveling and go to a different place, you know, seduce different women. But adventure doesn't have to be necessarily that. It could be right here at home, at your doorstep, you know, a challenge been put in front of you. And these times are challenging. These times, Corona times, are an adventure. And I think of the Mark Jenkins quote that I often quoted, but now it's even more applicable than ever. I'm going to read it. It says, "Adventure is a path. Real adventure, self-determined, self-motivated, often risky, forces you to have first-hand encounters with the world. The world the way it is, not the way you imagine it. Your body will collide with the earth and you will bear witness. In this way, you will be compelled to grapple with the limitless kindness and bottomless cruelty of humankind, and perhaps realize that you yourself are capable of both. This will change you. Nothing will ever again be black and white."
Yeah, and the what many people are in fear of right now is, well, the coronavirus, and then the tough economic times haven't hit yet, but there's been a ton of job loss, and there's been a ton of customer loss for businesses, and it's the reaction will be delayed, the pain will be delayed. It's like in the beginning of the coronavirus when the numbers were really going up. Well, that it was spreading, but because people didn't have the test and it was spreading without symptoms, people didn't know how far it had gone. And then once people did start getting sick, it's also a lag time between that and when people start really dying off. And so it's several weeks delayed.
Well, even, you know, you don't have to see it in the future. Right now, people are scared that they have it, that they could have it, could get it, that their parents have it, that they're not with their family. It's right now, you know?
Yes.
That's like,
talking about the financial piece, though.
But that's going to be added on it. But that's, you know, I'm scared right now, you know? Yeah. I'm scared like, fuck. Yeah. I don't want to get it. Am I good here in Brazil? You know, like, will they be able to take care? How painful can it be?
Yes.
You know, dying without air. Where are my parents? Should I be in Belgium?
Yes.
You know?
I guess, speaking to the men out there who may not be that concerned about it yet, and I think there are a lot of young people like that. And I'm in that boat. like I have concern, but I'm not yet scared. But as you stop and really begin to get present to what this is going to turn into, because the government really might not be able to save the economy this time. It's to that proportion. I don't want to go into depth on that sort of thing, but what if this is like a gift from God, and this is the great adventure that the men of our times have been deeply longing for, even if they didn't know it. Just the waking up to life's not that exciting, or I don't have my purpose, or what's the reason of really going for it? Like, I'm not into life the way it is. I'm maybe someone who's more into video games, or I'm just more into escaping the everyday, with drugs or with whatever distractions.
Well, it sure has the opportunity, It's going to put you, if you got the virus, for example, you ain't going to play video games.
Yeah.
If your parents have it and they're dying, you're not going to play video games. So it's an opportunity, it's an opportunity in a way to, it's a war, It's in many ways, it's like a war.
And I see the economic thing hitting way more the younger men. Let's say...
Than the virus.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Let's say you're just out on your own. You're just beginning your way in the world. Maybe you've just finished university, or you're not in university. Or you realize maybe university's not ever going to be the same. Maybe my parents can't pay for it anymore.
Maybe they die.
Yeah. What am I going to do? And the more that, one thing that's obvious to me, because I've had a number of collapses of businesses, been through, another half a year I'll be 50. So I've seen a number of,
49.
economic things.
30 or 48.
No.
Shit.
49 and a half.
Shit.
Yes. But I can see a challenge for a lot of guys will be trying to hang on to the comfortable life that they know, and the world that they have, and the world that they're used to. And this could be like, like when you're getting hit, when you're in a fight, you're getting hit with a punch or a kick or something like that. If you tense up, it's likely that the hit is going to cause a lot more damage. If you're loose and you flow with it, it causes much less damage. And so I can see like guys like wanting to hang on, let's say, to the business that they have, or hang on to all the material possessions that they have, or the particular house or apartment that they're living in. And so maybe they go deeper into debt to try to pay the bills. They try to spend more money to get their business, the same business going again. They're trying to preserve the life the way they knew it before, rather than really getting curious about what's going to live in this new world, this changing environment. What is it that wants to grow and wants to live in this new world, and being able to adapt? But anyway, the whole thing is a great adventure, and many will be crashed by the big waves.
Well, it's an opportunity because, when we stand for adventure, and I say to guys, and they're kind of comfortable in their way they live in the Western world, with the job, with the relationships they have, kind of just comfortable enough not to risk it, but not adventurous that they would go, wow. But they're comfortable enough not to risk it, and that keeps them there. And now you're not going to have that no more. That's what I foresee. It's not going to be kind of comfortable. You're going to be like, you would not choose to step in the ring to box, but you're going to find yourself in the ring right now.
Yes.
And so that's a great opportunity because you don't have to do the renouncing now. You don't have to say no to that and get
To the
away
life.
from that job because
You don't-
probably it's going to
You
be
don't
gone.
have to kill off the comfortable life because
Yes.
someone else is, or something else is going to kill
It's
it off.
going to
for
happen
you.
anyway. So
Yes.
it's a
And a similar thing with self-development, like in a comfortable world of leisure and abundance, prosperity. You know, you can take courses which challenge you to grow, to become a stronger person or man. But when the hard times come, it's grow or die. I mean, this is gonna this is gonna develop you. So it's a great opportunity to grow stronger, to grow wiser, and to go on a great adventure, and also to find your brothers. You know, find brothers who can have your back, fight with you, make things happen with you. What you and I have been up to and imagining for men in a lot of ways is being hastened by the dual crisis that's coming towards the beach. It's changing the shape and the color of the horizon. It's blocking out the sun. Doom seems to be not far from crashing down on us and destroying the world that we once knew and enjoyed and loved.
loved, I wouldn't say.
What a great adventure.
I didn't love it. I didn't love the way our society is shaped. I was talking to my friend and I kind of share what he was thinking. It's like saying, wow, I always thought that, World War III or whatever, it would come. My whole life I've been waiting for it, And I'm finally, it's here, relieved. Since I didn't know it was going to come in the form of a virus, but it's like, the Western ways are so crippled in so many ways, so many ways.
Well, everything is so highly leveraged for making maximum money. Super efficient, super productive, that it's, a lot of the supply chains have just enough inventory. Because inventory runs up your costs, makes it harder to be profitable. And same thing with saving money. Most individuals, we used to be a country that largely saved our money. And now, we spend everything we've got. We buy on credit, so our credits run up and our bills take up all of our paycheck. So, in no time at all, there can be a ton of people out on the street. This happened here in America 12 years ago, 2008. Ton of people just found themselves homeless out on the street, and more so than many of us had ever seen in our lifetime. This could be the next level of that.
Yes. Because I didn't notice anything 2008. Really, I saw it a bit, but in Belgium didn't notice anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's different from country to country because you have social security in Belgium, and in times like these, it shows. It's great for that. People are happy that it's there now.
Yes. So some of the adventures are going to be, how do I protect my parents? How do I protect my family? How do I go rescue my parents?
What are your adventures right now? How does adventure look to you right now?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Well, me, I got my mom in Ecuador. She's in the vulnerable population. And the borders are closed, so I can't, I could go help her. She told me last night that one of these guys she knows there, who his father's from Ecuador, but he grew up in America. And the first 30 years of his life, but the last 20 years or so, he's been...
Is that the same guy we met there?
No. He's been living back in Ecuador. but he kind of is between both worlds. So he's like a fixer. He helps
Right.
the gringos. He helps the expats navigate the society, get what they need. Anyway, he told her that he could get me in from Brazil on a boat into Ecuador. He could arrange for that to happen. My guess is it would be going through the Amazon River.
On a boat on the Amazon River.
Yes.
Don't get too excited yet.
Coming into Ecuador, that
You
way.
gotta paddle yourself in 3 days, though.
I mean, talk about an adventure,
Jesus.
right? I mean, I don't know where we would start, if we would cross the land to go near the Brazil-Ecuador border and then get in a boat, or to go just north from here and go all the way down the Amazon. Imagine that would be a great adventure, man. They got the pink dolphins that live in the Amazon. They got the anacondas. They got, piranhas. There's, man, it's an adventure itself, but to have a mission attached to it, to go save my mom, that could be fun. So that's one. And she's moving, but she's not supposed to cross like state lines there. It's like here, you're not supposed to cross state lines. But there they've taken tractors and put big mounds of dirt across the roads. Like physical barriers, practically immovable barriers across the roads. And then they got the cops out, and they'll let people through, right? Like any country pretty much in South America, with the right bribe, you can do what you need to do. So she's trying to move from the place where she's at, where she's become unwelcome for a number of different circumstances, and she has a new, better place, and a place she feels welcome and safe, that's north of there. But
to Manta.
how safe is it? I watched on the news yesterday in Ecuador, there was a video on CNN about just bodies in the streets in Guayaquil, which is where we were in October. And people just, and the smell, and people just disposing of their parents or whatever on the sidewalk because the smell is too great for the house. No one's coming to pick them up. And it's just, I mean, terrible. And this thing's only beginning, So imagine if they don't have the capacity to deal with that now, what could that be like in a few, 2, 3, 4 weeks? So anyway, that's one adventure. Another one is my dad. He's in Arizona. Like a year ago, he lost his ranch. He sold it, but he ended up having to take a big loss on it, I think. He's got Parkinson's now. And for me, it was a tragedy that he had to move into like an apartment. Like, my dad he's had a great life. He's been very successful. And at the end of his life, like going from your own, the American dream, your own plot of land, you got horses, and you got your own little ranch, beautiful house. And now he's got Parkinson's and he's living in a little apartment. And my dad's very religious. And he had his religious community, but they've now shut down the church services and the temple. He used to go do temple work all the time. It's a Mormon thing, but it's a way to give service. That's now closed, and he's kind of like they've got no one there really. And the rate of coronavirus in the county is really growing. So he might be moving to one of my sister's places, either in California or Idaho. So for me, those are two potential adventures. Now, my dad hasn't decided that he wants to move. We're talking to him. But it's not like I'm going to go try to force him to move. But if he says I want to move and I'm scared and I don't know, whatever, like I might be getting a plane ticket out there. If something goes down with my mom, I think she's okay now. She's got a couple of guys. They're helping her move. They've worked out to get trucks and passes to go. And but I've got the numbers of these guys. If something happens to her, God forbid if she ends up in a hospital like some of these people, and they're on ventilators, and they don't let anyone to come see them in the hospital, and like they die alone. Many of them don't even get to say goodbye. Imagine. But to me, that would be an absolute tragedy, and I might have to go escape into one of those hospitals just to say goodbye to my mom. or find some. You know, I don't know, but those are two things I'm paying attention to.
Smuggle yourself in the worst place.
Right. But then my sister, they were trying to sell their house for months, and they found a buyer and they closed on it just last week. But at the same time that the coronavirus is coming on, and they had decided at the last minute not to move into another place, so then they were out of a place, and they don't have much money at all, and so they'd been gifted a hotel room for a week, but they were stressed. They were trying to move. It's the same time as the virus, and we just got that like resolved, and
They were looking for a place in Austin, right? Or San Marcos.
yeah, but it got kind of so difficult for them that they were then open to moving anywhere. And I've played a part in resolving that, but didn't require me actually going there, right? But so I think probably I'm sure I'm not the only one. Everyone's got different things that have come up or are gonna come up. These are calls to the hero,
Yes.
right? These are what a great, if you're seeking adventure.
Well, that's maybe the way to say it. These times are calling for heroes,
Yes.
It's not like an adventure, oh, it's good for you. The adventure is that, are you going to step up and be the hero? Are you going to be that woman that comes with a plastic bag and cleans up the beach, To me, that's incredible.
Yes.
It's like, I'm doing something here for the greater good,
Yes. We had an adventure yesterday morning. We came home from the beach.
Holy shit!
And
Forgot about
Hans goes and turns on the shower, and the entire bathroom and his bedroom start just pouring water, and it's like a massive rainfall, and we had to, we're in an Airbnb down here. We had to try to find. There's like a bunch of different water pipes and valves, and find them, turn them off. We couldn't call the owner because we don't have SIM cards, and it won't go off. We've turned off the water, it's still going, and
Because there's a water tank above it, so that tank is emptying in the whole house.
yeah, and imagine what could happen here in Brazil if, for example, the airport's closed down. They don't let people leave, or
Yes.
things close down at the next level, or right now we go to the supermarket, everything's still peaceful. It's full of food. It's fully stocked. But in the States, they're going to supermarkets and the places that are empty. The food's gone. People are freaking out. This could have very easily happened here. So, yeah, what I mean to say is that obviously you wouldn't choose to have the adventure of your parents being in jeopardy and you've got to go rescue them. But you could very easily look at it like a victim, like, oh, things are happening to me, oh, this is all terrible, this is bad. My invitation is like, embrace it, like you were born for this. You were born to be a hero for your people. That's a big thing that men need. That's our role. And in a lot of ways, modern society has very much reduced the need for a man to be the hero and play the kind of role that he used to play in a family or in his community. My ancestors, they went by foot and horseback across the plains, across Comanche territory in the mid-1800s, because they were kicked out as Mormons, as early Mormons. They were kicked out from one state to the next, and sometimes violently so. And so they're on their own, trying to cross through, Indian territory
Comanche?
at the height of the Comanche Empire. Yeah. Hans' last name is Comyn, so
It's you against me,
he likes to imagine somehow he's related to the great Comanches.
I am 1% Native American. I did a DNA test.
And
Comanche.
yes,
That's the opportunity that we have. That that we're like, fuck, should I do that? Go on that adventure? Should I go on that adventure? And like, and then we feel bad. We're not doing it. You're not gonna have it. You're put into it right now.
Yes.
You're put into it right now. You don't have to choose it now. You're in the adventure.
Yes.
That's
and
great.
you're probably not ready, but it's still a great adventure. Like if you really embrace it, it's going to call on you to be resourceful. It's going to call on you to be courageous. It's going to call on you to grow stronger. It's going to call on you to develop leadership ability. Like it's for me, I love these moments. I love these times, and I've consistently throughout my my journey of developing my work and having businesses related to my honor work, I've consistently thrown myself into the unknown almost because I need it.
Yes.
So I'll take on a challenge that risks my entire business. It's from the perspective of the idea of like what I should be up to as an entrepreneur is trying to build a successful business that grows and is safe and continually adds money. And what I've just distinguished recently is like, that's not what I was up to at all. The goal for me was to have such a great adventure that it scares the shit out of me, requires me to transform, and puts me in the unknown, and it's exciting. And that was actually the purposes that I designed for myself.
So if you take responsibility, say for your family, how much are you willing to take responsibility for the men out there?
You're asking me?
Yes.
What do you mean, how much?
Like you would, if you were to know your mom's in danger, you'd be like, fuck, I'm taking a boat across the Amazon, I'm there.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a responsibility you're ready to take and taking. You're having calls and you're doing it already. How much do you also want to take responsibility for guys out there that are looking for something different?
Yeah, I want it. I want it. I love it. I told you about those stories, like going back for my brothers. The one, my brother Dave, I dropped everything that I was doing, drove out and spent the summer with him.
Yes.
And then there was the one with John. I didn't hesitate. John, come live with me, And for me, that's like I crave that even more than.
So how does going back for brothers look right now? Today, this week, this month, this season.
Begins with us putting these calls out.
Yes.
These audios. Making invitations. I don't know exactly what it looks like. But
Well, maybe we should figure it out now because they're dying. I think a great taking of responsibility is also the way that we started working on my business and the way you're teaching me.
Absolutely.
I think that's a great one.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
A very practical, close to home. You're going to save many men like that.
Yeah, it's the adventure is how do you make your business survive and grow?
Mm-hmm.
How do you thrive through these times? How do you reach the next level? And it's a great adventure. So that's one way, right? And then you have your adventures you're inviting men to.
Yes.
With your work. And helping men realize their dreams in the land of women and romance and so on, and that may not be guys' first priority right now. So,
well, I asked the question. I think it's interesting. I asked the question to guys: are you feeling more lonely or more connected? And surprisingly, a lot of people say more connected.
yes,
And what I see, and this is just a sense, is that these times really put people like see what really matters. And I've seen for me, I'm way more connected with my family and the women in my life than before. You know, I'm making calls. I'm there for them. So, yeah, it really shows me that priority are my relationships.
Yeah.
And I imagine a lot of guys think the same. You know, so I can see how the work is going to be even more important than before.
Yeah, when the hard times come, you get more connected with reality and with what's most important to you. You know, even yourself, like, you were just looking at me because I have my hand down my pants. But it's cold out here, you know, so I'm getting connected with myself. You know, connection. It's what you do when the hard times come.
What you do when the hard times come. Hard times come. Ah! Jesus.
So, yes, I don't know exactly what our invitation is to men exactly right now, on the terms of what we're going to invite them to, but we're going to be inviting them.
But I'm pushing you, and I'm not saying you should, but I'm pushing you that because it's obvious to you, your parents, how urgent that is, but you don't have the same urgency with these guys. And I'm not saying you should, you know, but
Well, partly there needs to be real guys. You
Yes.
know, it's not just an idea of guys. Of course, I'm not that connected to just an idea of
Yes.
guys, but you know, we need to put the call out and then see who responds. And to me, it's more about answering the call of people who want to be helped, people who want
as you've
to
been
go on a
doing with
journey.
me,
Yes.
that's the direct, you know. It's raining in the house, you're dealing with it, you know. I'm here in the house, you're dealing with it.
Yes.
I hope you do a better job dealing with me than you dealt with the water last night.
Hey, I turned the water off. I figured I'd let you
Exactly.
handle the rest.
Pussy. Turn off the water. Make it rain.
You're busy making things beautiful. I'm solving the problem.
Jesus, that was like. But that's a great, not metaphor, but a great example, you know? It's like, it was shocking. It was just raining down, and I'm saying, fuck this shit, man.
It's
This-
a great way to focus you, isn't it?
Yes.
There's nothing more important.
Like the water, I think this house is going to be underwater if at this rate. Because it was, you know?
Yes.
And trying to get the water out, you say, fuck, if this hits the electricity, you could
Yes.
be, you know? And then you try to stop the water, you try to get rid of the water in the house, you try to save the furniture, the
Yes.
paintings, you know, you try to call the people, you're like, what the fuck? And it seems like it's too much, and you get into it, you know, and 2 hours later, it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
The things are drying, they stopped the water, they solved it, was the thing above, you know, they reconnected it, someone came, you know, we put all the furniture outside,
Yeah.
and we're a day later, and it's solved.
Yeah. You know what? A typical response to times like these in the unknown is to do nothing and to try to study what's going on, which is trying to understand what's going on. It's definitely something we need to do. We need to understand what's going on and what's going to happen. However, for me personally, I find that being of service, you know, as far as if you're just studying and thinking about what could happen, you're dealing with a higher level of fear than you're going to have if you just go start being of service. And also, and for me, there can be a profound calm and sense of honor and clarity, like I'm in action, I'm
Yes.
of service, I'm connected. And yeah, so for men out there listening to this, you know, I highly recommend that. But, you know, we invited Anthony to come down here to Brazil, come stay with us and help us build what we're doing. This is a great adventure for him. He's freaking out, and I don't know if he's actually going to make it down here or not. But
What's your guess?
I would also invite men to come here. It's not an invitation of, hey, this is going to be safe. Hey, this is going to be easy.
I'm going to
Hey,
give
this
you all
is-
the food.
Hey, this is going to be all fun times, right? But I do invite men to come and sharing this journey with us, who don't have other things going on, like, if your parents are taken care of, your family's taken care of, whatever. I wouldn't make that invitation to a guy who's got kids at home and a wife and whatever, but
Oh,
but for young guys who are, um, just sitting doing nothing, come get engaged with brothers.
you got a lot
Find
less.
a way to be of service.
You got a lot less to lose than a couple of weeks ago. You haven't got university to go to.
Right?
You know.
Schools are shut down, or at least they're remote learning. But what are you going to learn in school versus learn by being out in service and in the adventure in the real world right now? The types of learning are completely different. And I would say the real world adventure is much more valuable.
I have so many degrees, like I plastered this house with it, and it's nothing compared to I learned nothing compared to what I learned of 6 months of traveling.
Yes.
You say you love these moments. Me too, deep down, I love it in a way. I can sense that, like, oh, okay, okay, I'm fitting in, I'm doing something, when I'm putting out the water outside or rescuing the things, you feel part of something, and it's right. But or like coronavirus, the larger extent, you're like thinking about it, what do I do, and you feel alive in a way. But it's not that I go, yes, here we go. I don't know. Do you enjoy it?
I do. I also feel, because many times I have the sense that so many people are asleep.
Yes.
And I kind of feel like, welcome to my world, motherfuckers. When the shit hits the fan.
Right.
Because I've been paying attention to that all the time, and I've been often living in that with that level of unknown. So, and I like that everyone's waking up.
Yes.
And thinking more deeply now what's really important to me. And that's what a lot of my work is about. And how do I stand up and be who I want to be in the face of my life, my values, my people being so threatened? Because I see the threat to people in their lives and their relationships and families and so forth just by the way they're living life and the way they're making decisions. That's what my work is about.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that we slowly die inside. So, and I try to get people awake to it, but there's nothing like a crisis to wake you up to what's important. So, but I think part of my feeling, the reason why I kind of crave a higher level of unknown, in part may be that I was 14 when my whole world got shooken up. And my mom told me, as she was taking me to a friend's house for the weekend, that my dad wouldn't be coming home anymore. And the idea, we were Mormon and very religious. Mormons generally just don't get divorced. And so this also is is the church true? Well, what's going on with my parents? What's true about the world? Do I really have a mission from God? Is there eternal life? What's, like everything was now in question. And although it was a difficult time, it was a really liberating time. It was an exciting time. I had to find out what's true and what to do and how am I going to do it. And yeah, so for me, that level of kind of uncertainty, being thrown into that, started then and has a lot of positive connotations attached to it. Imagine, like, in a way I was kind of in a cult of mind, in a way. inside of that religion. But American men listening to this, there's also a way that a culture is a cult. There's certain things you should do, certain things you shouldn't do. There's certain things you should look at and not look at. And when you just live inside of one culture, you're inundated in that. It's very much like a cult. And so there's great liberation and aliveness that can come by suddenly questioning, like, how have we been doing our lives? What have we been valuing? And what's possible if I question all of those things I thought were important before? Like, this can be a time of great awakening and liberation and empowerment.
I feel like we're I don't know, I feel a strong desire to put out the call, you know, and to first of all call men forth and step into or see the opportunity right now for you to be a leader, to be there for your people, you know, to be first of all a leader of yourself, which is you know, there's no real time to complain and moan and cry aloud. You know, you take charge of your life because you have to, and then to really see the opportunity to be a leader for your people, you know, the women in your life. Who do you want to be for the women in your life? For your friends? Who do you want to be for your brothers? Who do you want to be for your family? You know, what role can you play there? I see that opportunity very clear, and I put out a call, you know, because I'm thinking of guys who I see try to hold on, you know, and don't see the bigger picture here of the opportunity that we get. So I'm putting out the call for that, and I'm putting out a call that anyone who's listening and feels resonating with these words, you know, that we're here and creating something that's bigger, you know, a brotherhood that's bigger, that's going to help you be that guy also, you know, and it's very much needed. So we're creating it, and if you resonate, I want these guys to reach out.
Yes.
I want these guys to talk to me. I want them to tell me, hey, I want to talk because I need someone to talk to.
Yes.
I want them to come to Brazil. I want them to show me that they're leaders for their people, you know. I want to hear the stories of how they take care of their families. You know, I saw Reem, for example, you know, we were talking and I could see how worried he was. And he's in Colombia, you know, and his parents, he's thinking, fuck, maybe I should have been in Holland. And as he's thinking this, the borders are closing, you know, and he's struggling because he's like, fuck, I'm not there. You know, my father is sick. What do I do? He tries to find on. He says, if I can find this malaria medicine, you know, if I can find that and have him that delivered in Holland to my father, then I did it, you know, then I did enough. Then I did my job. So he's frantically looking for that, and he's just stepping into that, you know, taking on that role of be the hero for his family, you know, and to me that's very powerful.
Yes.
And yeah, anyone listening to this resonating, I would love for you to reach out, so you know you're not alone. But I also want to know we're not alone, you know, because that helps me, you know.
Yes.
When I see that girl picking up trash on the beach, you know, because today the waves are so big and there was a lot of trash. That to me is so comforting. I think it's so great, you know. And yeah, pick up the trash. I want to put this call out because I wanted to create something with it.
And it's up to you and I to refine that call some more.
Yes.
Find some clear invitations to men to join us in brotherhood. So it is.
So it shall be.